Hey YouTubers, and welcome back to another discussion video. Now today I'm joined by D-Free DBZHD. You want to say hi, man?
Dab.
I don't think he wants to talk to us. He's dabbing away.
What's up, guys? Thanks for having me on again, Mark.
Yeah, no worries. And today we're going to be talking about something that's we saw in the last episode of Dragon Ball Super, and something that we've been seeing overall with the last couple of episodes of Dragon Ball Super. It just starts to seem a little bit weird, and that's the Pilaf gang. Now, before we get started, I do want to actually let everyone know that we actually did a video about the Pilaf gang and their particular brand of humor, and whether it's good or bad for Dragon Ball Super on D-Free's channel a couple weeks ago. It will be in the description below, and I'll even make sure to annotate it on the video right around here. So if you really like that idea, you want to hear that discussion, make sure to click over to that link because it was a really good one. Anyway, I definitely want to talk about this concept of the Pilaf gang and them being younger, and are they really basically the same characters that they were in Dragon Ball? Now, if you listen to D-Free, he does his weekly reviews or something, and he kind of pointed something out that I hadn't really noticed throughout this entire thing was, although they've been kind of pointing out these little jokes or winks to the audience that the Pilaf gang are older than they really should be in this particular timeline of Super, they've never really quite explained it. You know, the whole concept of them wishing to be children was something that was explained in the Battle of Gods movie, not the arc. They never mentioned it at all. So it leads me to wonder or just kind of ask, are these kind of the same people that we met in Dragon Ball? What do you think?
Well, So getting out the way, the logical answer would be yes, because it's Dragon Ball. They haven't introduced any other alternate versions of these characters, etc., etc. But I will say that when it comes to these characters, the way that they've handled them is where this kind of stems from, because like you said, they don't provide any context. Hey, Dragon Ball Super, that's the thing you do the best, man. In most cases, they try. I'm not gonna harp them too much, man. They've been trying lately. So I appreciate that. But with these characters, they never really did provide context. And even if you look at the movies, it was something that was handled really kind of like off screen, and they just kind of just explained it. And it seems to me like they really only did that so they can kind of. It's almost like foresight on Toriyama's part, even though like back when Battle of Gods was around, I'm sure that there was no idea of like a Black Goku arc or anything like that. It's almost like foresight in that they turned them back so Trunks could have a girlfriend, basically, even though she's way older than him apparently. But they turned him back, and it all kind of just wraps around to the next couple of arcs, excluding the Universal Tournament arc. But as far as it goes, the thing is that, like, I kind of talked about it in my review there, they kind of treat these characters as if they're not the same characters, and exclusively because the other guys are just kind of there. They even just said, hey, they asked Trunks, where were we at? He was like, I never met you, which is interesting in and of itself in that timeline, how he never met them. Even though that's just kind of like a branch of this main timeline. So all of that stuff should have happened before Trunks made any timeline changes, because he wouldn't have been born yet, of course, which kind of doesn't make sense as to why she's an adult in that timeline, but that's a whole nother thing. But the way that they treat this character in this main timeline that we're accustomed to is they say, she says little drop lines like, oh, what is future me like? And it's like, well, yeah, I suppose you can consider that a future you, because it's from a different timeline where they're talking about like future Trunks, and there's a lot going on with future related. They're just kind of loosely throwing that word out there. But the reality is that this chick has already been a grown woman. She should know what she's going to turn out like, I'm sure there will be butterfly effects that ripple and change her character around a little bit, but she should know how she's going to turn out. So it all in all just kind of seems really differently. And as I kind of said in my review as well, because you brought it up, I got to keep referencing it. They do this thing with the Pilaf gang where they kind of nod at them like they know who they are, but then they treat them like they don't know who they are. It's like, like I was telling you, like in our DMs, like you can even throw GT in there, canon or not canon, I'm not worried about that. When Goku saw them, he knew who they were in the first episode whenever they wished him to be a kid. He knew who they were. So like in this, it would only logically make sense because it really hasn't been like incredibly long to where he would forget these characters. But, they do this thing where it's like you would think that Bulma would remember the little blue elf guy. Seriously, you would think they would. I mean, I know they were insignificant in Dragon Ball, but you would still think they would notice them and recognize them. And another thing that kind of like made a wink to them not remembering these characters and to them treating them like kids is when in that latest episode of Dragon Ball Super, once again, Mai was like, hey, the guy with the scarf or the mask, whatever she said, was really cool or cute, whatever the terminology exactly was, I'm not sure. And then Bulma was like, hey, you're talking like you're a grown woman. And I'm like, it's because she is. So like, I don't really understand. It's like they're just kind of there just to be there, to where you can't really accurately judge it, because if they were the same characters, looping back around to the topic of the video, you would logically say that they would know who these characters are.
Well, I agree. I feel like these people are definitely these same characters. I don't want to necessarily get that way too twisted, but it is really curious to know that, like, you know, Goku forgetting one person or another is not that big of a deal. He's kind of a simpleton. But Bulma forgetting who these people are, and you can talk about, like, well, you know, they're younger than they were when they met them in Dragon Ball, so she might not associate them with being the same people. But seeing three people that look like kid versions of the people you dealt with when you were a teenager, you know, in a world where Dragon Balls exist, and you've dealt with somebody in the past who has literally wished themselves to go back to their younger form, you know, it does draw the question. Like, I understand that Super is trying to have fun with this, and I feel like the one way they're using these particular characters as just kind of, as we talked about in our other video about them, they're just kind of a joke. And the whole concept of them being older than what they really appear is just supposed to be like another one of these, you know, great stacking things to a, like, the winks to the fans who actually knew or remember Dragon Ball and know who these characters are and know that they're actually older than what they appear to be. The concern I have here is the fact that, you know, why does the movie have the time to explain exactly who these people are, even whether we know them or not, and the series doesn't? I mean, will it really distract so much to sit there and go, yes, these people were older, they wish themselves to be younger, and now they're just here? But no, the series, this series is definitely like thinks it's more enjoyable to actually just keep winking to us that, haha, these people are older than what they appear, and no one really notices it but you. Isn't that ironic? and I feel like, yes, it's funny, but it's a little bit weird. I mean, in the flashbacks about what was going on in the future, seeing Mai kind of raise a rebellion with people with guns to someone who looks exactly like Goku is a bit laughable. If you think, like, if she's this exact same character, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
what is she doing?
Because main timeline Mai was terrified of Goku. Mm-hmm. There's no way she would.
Well, she knows that Goku's not hurt by bullets, and
yeah,
it's like. And it's just one of these things. Like, whether or not we're actually, these are really the same characters or not, or their just whole existence is to be this in-joke for people who have stuck with the series or know the series as well as you or I or anyone listening to this video, I think that's just what they are. Now, if you ask me, and I, you know, the mainstay on my channel is weird, crazy theories, my idea always is going to be, even though I'm wrong, I want to say, even though I'm wrong.
At least you know you're wrong.
At least I know I'm wrong, and it's fan fiction. I do want Mai to be a bad guy. The same person who's controlling Black or something. I just want her to be completely bad. I mean, it's like everything about her, not only in future Trunks of Time, and everything about the Pilaf gang in this whole series is just so incredibly convenient. Especially with the fact that she's the rebellion, like, Black Goku goes to Earth to create justice, and she raises a rebellion to fight him, even though, like I just said, she should know that Goku is invincible and can't be hurt by bullets,
yeah,
and all this stuff. It's just, to me, and ask yourself, isn't Mai just a little too convenient? And maybe that's what Super's trying to do. Maybe that's what Super's entire plan is. But Mai and the whole Pilaf gang, too convenient. Are they really the same people? Yes, but a little bit of no.
Yeah, I think that what truly what this is that Super just wanted a chance to reboot those characters. I think Toriyama really is fond of those characters, always has been. They skipped a large chunk of this series, and I think that they just took the opportunity back in Battle of Gods, where they wished themselves back off screen, of course, I'm pretty sure it was, where they wished themselves back to being kids. I think they just wanted a chance to reboot those characters and actually use them. And what it does is it adds a little bit more context, not to Goten because he doesn't really particularly count, but it does to Trunks because they established that relationship. And what Super has done is it's acted as if that has always been the case, and Mai was just young initially. And that's why she's grown up, because I can't see Trunks being in his 30s legitimately dating somebody that's probably older than his mom would have been. I just can't see that happening. So, that's kind of just the way it was. That's just the formula they've chosen to adapt with these characters. So, in that essence, no, they're not the same characters because they've rebooted them and retconned them in a sense. But, once again, they're still the same characters in spirit, nonetheless.
Yeah, and I definitely think that's exactly the way we really should think about it, although convenient. I think I'll leave it at that. I feel like it's really convenient and just kind of, it's a joke. And as we talked about in our other videos, it's not a very good joke, in my opinion. Maybe some people have different opinions. But anyway, thank you, D-Free, for coming on this video. Do you want to say anything else?
Dab.
Okay, he's going to leave us now. He's just dapping away. Anyway.
No, thanks for having me on. I hope you guys enjoyed.
Yeah. So, guys, make sure to leave your thoughts on this in the comment section below. Don't forget to rate and subscribe, and definitely check out D-Free's channel. It'll be in annotation on the video and in the description below. He makes amazing content, Dokkan, video games, Pokemon, discussions, you name it, he'll make it, and it's usually just really consistent daily content. So definitely go check him out.
You just called me very confused with my channel. I want you to know that.
I didn't mean to. I meant to say that you were diverse. Whatever. This is how we...
Dab.
Done.
Peace out.